Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero, and you're listening to The Tour Coach. Look, these conversations that you're about to hear are all the conversations, the roundtable discussions, the lessons from my travels in teaching, from whether it's in Mobile, Alabama, or to my home for instruction down at Old Palm Golf Club in Palm Beach Gardens. And these come from the team of experts and the team of people that I trust and that we work with day in, day out, week in, week out, whether it's on the PGA Tour, Live Tour, Korn Ferry Tour, or just where we're teaching. I hope you like what you listen to. We appreciate all the support, and I'm sure you've noticed we're putting out more and more content as the game of instruction has changed and more people want more access to more info, more content. We've decided to get with the program, and I've made a concerted effort to really try to provide you what I believe is the best information and really good information and access to really good help for your game. So I hope you like listening to the Tour Coach. And just like we did for Augusta, folks, from now through the end of the PGA Championship, I'm going to give away a set of Srixon irons, 6 dozen balls, and 6 gloves to a lucky winner. We're going to also give away a Vineyard Vines Prize Pack as well as a Bushnell Mini Wingman. So 3 winners this time for our PGA Championship giveaway. What do you have to do? You have to go to our YouTube channel. That's Do Sweeper TV, and watch some of the new Pro Work episode. Go on the Pro Work episode that has just been released. You'll see it right there. And comment, hashtag Pro Work, hashtag Do Sweeper TV, any of those in the comment section. Please share, please like. We love doing this. We love growing the content. We hope you enjoy it. For a chance to win, set of Srixon irons, 6 dozen balls, 6 dozen gloves, a Vineyard Vines Prize Pack, or a Bushnell Mini Wingman, go to YouTube, Do Sweeper TV, find the new Pro Work episode, like it, share it, and comment hashtag Pro Work, hashtag Do Sweeper TV. Any of those will get you entered, and we're going to draw the Monday after the PGA Championship. Hope you love and enjoy this. Hope your game gets better. And don't forget, none of this would be possible without Mitch McConnell, McConnell Automotive, and Buick GMC, Vineyard Vines, Bushnell, Srixon Golf, and all of our family and friends. So enjoy the Tour Coach. Keep working at the game. It's the best out there, and we'll keep trying to bring you the best information. All right, so joining me here on the Tour Coach, first time offender, but one of the really good dudes that I have the opportunity a few times a year to hang out with. Finishing up his last year at the University of Cincinnati, Ty Gingerich. Ty, what is up, buddy?
Not too much. Thanks for having me on, Tony.
First of all, we got to talk about a couple things. We're going to get into rap music later because I thought that'd be better towards the end of the segment.
For sure.
But you are the student that I work with that has taught me the most about rap.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but recently, this past week, one tied for first, however they want to say it, for the Big 12 championship. You're the Big 12 champion. First of all, congratulations. I know how hard you've worked, and I also know, most people don't necessarily understand this, but golf has lots of ups and downs, and you had bunches of ups and you've had bunches of downs. Talk a little bit about that, and how did. I'm very curious because I actually was thinking of the things I was going to talk to you about. Yeah. And I was like, how do you handle the down? Did you handle the down periods? Because we've worked a year and a half, a couple of years. You had some real good stretches. You had some not good. How did you balance the good with the bad, and what brought you to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Like you said, it's easy to kind of keep it rolling when things are going good, and but when things are not going very good, it's tough. It's tough to just to grind the same almost, because it's you haven't seen anything come out of your game, and you feel like you've been working your ass off, and there's no results to show for it. So I think more mentally than physically, it's really hard mentally, and for me that was kind of the case. I felt like I'd just kind of gotten off a little bit physically with my swing, and and then it just kind of turned into more of a mental thing for me too, and you just start to lose kind of the belief and the confidence, and it's kind of it's tough being in the place, but I think every great golfer goes through stretches of that.
No
Right?
question.
Like you see it with pros on tour right now, and it's like, but like that doesn't get shined upon at all. You only when you watch PGA Tour, like you're only seeing the guys that are on that week, and you don't like realize that there are guys that are missing cuts that have missed 4, 5, 6, 7 cuts in a row, and so it's like at all phases of the game, like there are ups and downs.
People don't see it at all, and I was. Somebody asked me not long ago. I was doing one of these things for some teachers, and actually I remember having some other teachers on the podcast, and I said the hardest thing for me to have learned. You and I've been around each other a bunch, and as much as we've worked on the golf course, we've gone out and had dinner and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And like the hardest thing I've had to learn to deal with, coaching and teaching, is like not taking how you play or how guys play with how you feel about yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Like I had a real hard time with that. I really did. Like I've and because like there's weeks where everybody plays great and you think you're the king of the world, and there's weeks that you feel like you've taught your ass off and everybody shoots a million.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's very difficult.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, I mean it's the same. Yeah, it's the exact same thing from players' perspective, and I mean that was a big thing of kind of when I was going through it earlier this year. It's like, I mean, you have to separate like who you are as a person and like who you are as a golfer is two different completely things, like two different things.
Yep.
And and I think that was just a big learning thing for me. Like, it's easy to just put a lot of self-worth in like, how I'm doing on the golf course is who I am outside of golf. And so there's definitely lessons to be learned from that. And I'm almost grateful for that.
Yeah.
For that period of poor golf, because it's like, I learned a lot about myself, and I think I got mentally stronger too. And it's just like, it's it's good to go through phases like that for sure.
Well, it makes you appreciate the good times too, right?
Absolutely.
But so, we saw each other in January. We actually got kicked off the range there at Bear Lakes, but that's
we did.
Rick Lamb, our buddy Rick Lamb. Rick and I were talking about it the other day, but got kicked out of Bear. He's still pissed about that guy. But
I mean, that was crazy.
Crazy. Out there with a member, got kicked off. But anyways, that's another story. But anyways, we did some work, and and the thing I liked about it was it wasn't any different than the stuff we did before. And I take some ownership for you not playing great or not playing very good, because I think like I tried to overdo some things, right? And I remember that day thinking like, I just want to get you back to what the heck you were doing when you played really good. Talk a little bit about what's happened that just got you going back good, because obviously played great to win the Big 12, which is an unbelievable accomplishment. And the list of people that have won that, Tom Kites, Ben Crenshaw, people like that, is unbelievable. Yeah. But I guess they were the Southwest Conference back then, but same thing. But anyway, but like, what did you do? What was it that started building towards positive stuff?
I think just like a lot of trust and patience, and knowing that like, at some point it's going to turn in my direction. Like it just has to. I'm too good of a player for it not to. And just believing in that, and like, just trusting my game. It's like, I'm not, it seems like I'm far off, but I knew I wasn't. And it's like I had a good week the week before Big 12s at Mossy Oak. I think I finished 7th there.
Played super good there.
Played good there.
Good
and
field.
If I would have putted good, I would have won that. I believe that. I just didn't putt that great and finished 7th, whatever. But I was just trending in a really good direction and have felt good about my swing. Like the last few videos I sent you, they looked a lot better. So I just think, I mean, I was in a better place in my swing, and obviously mentally, I feel like I'm in such a better place, and I just knew that my time was coming, and if I just keep plugging and keep working and keep trusting in what I do, that it was going to turn around for me, and it did.
No question it did. And I think that somebody said, we were talking, and it's about, how often you work with somebody. And I was like, you and I've always said, I'm not a babysitter, right?
Right.
And I think the thing I've always enjoyed about you is like, you take the info and you kind of process it and you go do your own deal, and then all of a sudden I get videos and I think that's what makes you good is you don't necessarily need somebody else to tell you it's good all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that we've all been around players. Like they always need somebody standing there or a track man there telling them that it's good. Right. And I think that's why you're going to be a good professional and a good playing professional, because you don't need that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you survive, though, the not good times, because the not good times, it's hard to find anything good with somebody watching you every swing.
Right.
Right. And, but I mean, kudos to you, man. Like, I'm super proud of you. And so for the people that listen to this, they're obviously golf geeks and so forth. What are the things you have been working on in your backswing as you've, you've stayed on this? I know how long it's been. It's been at least a year, right?
Yeah.
Working on the same thing. And that's another thing I don't think people get, that like you don't go take a lesson and work on something, and 6 days later you stripe all the time. It doesn't happen that way.
Right. Yeah, it's completely a process. And it's like, it's almost, for me, I try to just kind of separate like the time where I'm out there working on my mechanics, working on my swing, versus the time that I'm out there preparing to play competitive golf. Like, to me, it's two different things. And I'm just like, I want to get my swing to a place where I'm freed up to go play golf, and I'm not really worried about the mechanics, but even if they're a little off, and it's like, but yeah, I mean, when I was working on like mechanical stuff, I was just working on a little bit of takeaway, because I like to just naturally, I pull it inside a little bit, and I get kind of long and across the line at the top. So it was just working on the takeaway, being a little more outside of my hands, and then just being a little bit shorter at the top, not getting so long, and kind of having some extra motion up at the top with my hands and wrists.
One thing I want to talk to you about, because I'm a big believer in this, I think guys that play, girls as well, obviously, play other sports that are great athletes and really good athletes, I think they learn better. I think they apply better. And I also think that in the long run, they become better players. And you played other sports coming up. You picked up golf late. Always fascinated me about you, about like golf wasn't like your primary deal. And I've taught guys like the Bobby Whites, Robbie Sheltons, where they just always played golf. But it fascinated me that like golf wasn't the first thing you're like, hey, I'm going to be a great golfer. Talk a little bit about that, because I think that's what makes you good, is the relationship to other sports.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I played baseball for like 10 years, like, travel baseball, competitive baseball. And that was really like my first big time sport that I was heavily invested in. And golf was always just kind of like a side deal. We were members at a club growing up, and my dad and grandpa played a bunch. And but every so often I would just go out to the course and mess around and, hit balls or whatever. But when I was like 12 or 13, I was maybe getting a little more serious in golf, but like I was still playing a ton of baseball. So I really didn't have time to like play, a lot of golf. But like my dad would make me go play like a couple tournaments in the summer. And like, I would shoot like 120. Like it was awful. It was horrible. But, I think that taught me a lot too. It's just like, being able to like learn how to be competitive even when I've got nothing. I don't know how to play golf at all, but I'm like still out there competing, learning. And so I think that was a good foundation for me, was, just learning what competitive golf is like. And then I was 15 going into high school, and I'd played like a couple of years of middle school golf in the springtime, and like I was getting a little bit better, but still not very good. And I would play baseball all summer, but yeah, I was 15, and so I just finished up like my last summer playing baseball, and that spring I was a freshman in high school, and in Indiana we have to decide, like I had to decide if I wanted to play baseball or golf as a spring sport because I couldn't do both.
That's weird.
And yeah, it is. And ultimately I was just kind of like burnt out with baseball and just didn't really like love the game, and I was kind of starting to just fall in love with golf, and like I really wasn't any good, but like I had like gotten better, gotten a lot better in a few years, and was able to work with some teaching pros, and just kind of. But I developed a foundation of golf, like playing competitive golf, in those early years that I had like started playing golf, and I think that's a big thing, it's just like, but yes, like playing other sports. I played basketball growing up and other things like that, but just learn how to be a competitor. I think that's, a big edge that I have to my game, because it's really like mechanically it's not perfect, and my short game is not the greatest right now, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like I've never been a right, like your typical golfer, but I am a competitor, and like I rely on that edge, and I think that's what helps me be as good as I've been before, is the ability to compete and stuff like that.
So I had some folks texting me, obviously with Golf Stat and all the stuff now, and Jay Coffin, who formerly Golf Channel, now Jay Coffin Media. You've met him and his son down with us at Old Palm.
Yeah.
And Jay, huge college fans. Like I'm teaching golf and I'm watching Golf Stat. All of a sudden he's texting me like how you're doing, because like it's on TV, right? Or it's on, you could stream it. And I'm like, what the hell are you streaming this? And but anyways, he said like, are you, it's close, it's coming down the stretch, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I thought to myself, like, the closer it gets, actually, the more I believe in you, because it's more about being a competitor when it's two people or three people tied. To me, it's, it's a little more golf if it's a 4-shot lead and you got 12 holes, right?
Absolutely.
But when you're head to head and you're coming down the stretch, and excuse my French, but like that's about how big a balls you have, right? That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. It's not about like, it's not about who's got the best golf swing, right? It's about who can, hit shots under the pressure and get it in the hole.
Correct.
And yeah, I think that's an X factor that I have, that because of my sports background and just how I grew up playing, it helps me separate.
Well, one thing I want to talk to you about is, so your regionals are up at Purdue.
Yeah.
Which is, there's family history there. Your dad, big Purdue, right?
Oh yeah.
In fact, we watched some NCAA tournament game, not this season, the season before, when they got beat. That's all I could think about, actually, was this year during the tournament, was you and your dad. Right. We were sitting there in that restaurant. Your dad was so depressed.
You guys had your back to the TV, and we're just both looking over there being like, holy shit, we're about to lose to, I don't even know what school this is, but we're about to lose to them.
I just remember I kept saying to your dad, oh, they're going to get it. They're going to come back. Because I kept thinking, like, man, they got to come back, right?
They got to, right? You can't lose to a 16 seed. No way.
But no, they didn't. So anyways, heck of a run for Purdue this year, making it to the championship game.
Yes, it was.
But, like, so when we texted after, you'd won the Big 12 and you knew you were going to regionals, and you said, Purdue, and I, as I thought about it more and more, and then when the announcement came out, I thought, like, I mean, I don't know if they do that on purpose. It would be actually one of the cool things the NCAA does if they did. But, like, for a kid that I've got, and I mean that nice as a kid, like that I've gotten the best opportunity in the world to hang out with some. With what that means, like if you sat there and watched you and your dad watch that basketball game,
Yeah.
like to finish your college career,
Yeah.
or I mean, or second to last college career when you win and
Right.
make it to nationals, but like to have that opportunity there has to be pretty cool to me.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, like the amount of times I played this golf course just in junior golf and, growing up. Yes, I'm very familiar with this golf course. I love this golf course. I won the Indiana State Junior there, like my senior year of high school.
Wow.
On this golf course. So, I mean, it's definitely like a dream scenario, right? Like, couldn't ask for a much better place to play a regional. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited, but yeah, like my dad played baseball there. My brother's on the baseball team there right now. My sister graduated from Purdue. Like all of my cousins have gone to Purdue. I mean, it's awesome. And like Purdue was actually the school I turned down to come to UC. So,
what made you do that?
Really just like I fell in love with Coach Martin and Coach Frick, just our coaching staff here in our program. And I really wanted to be a part of something and build this program up and, make a name for myself here and
you've done that.
Leave this program a lot better than I found it. And we're trending in that direction. So, but yeah, I mean, I love Coach Martin. He was a great player himself, and I just felt like I could learn a whole lot from him. And he's had so much success at every level he's played. So I was like, there's just not a better coach in the country that you can go play for and learn from.
That's awesome. So last thing, what are you doing to get ready for West Lafayette and for the regional? Anything different than what you'd normally do, and how are you approaching it, and how are you approaching your opportunity at the next phase of your career?
Yeah.
Once we're past NCAAs.
Yeah, I mean, not much. I mean, just not much change, I guess. Just
I think that's
keep
good.
doing what I'm doing, and I feel like the last month or two I've been doing the right things in practice and working hard on my short game and obviously the ball striking is in a really good spot right now. So just keeping that up and but really just mentally just being prepared, right? Like
yep.
It's really what I think it's going to come down to is just being ready for the moment, and I think I am. But just just one shot at a time, really.
Yep.
Not trying to overcomplicate anything, but just keep it simple. And that's really what we work on when we're out there with our when you're giving me lessons and when we talk. And it's just like, just keep it simple and trust and have belief in what you do. And I know that like if I have my best stuff and play the way I'm capable of, like I can win this tournament.
Correct.
It's not any different. It's not any different than just playing golf.
I think that's too where the other sports play into that, right? Like once you go on a basketball court or a baseball field, like it's the same, right?
Right.
I think in golf sometimes I think players focus too much on the other players and who's playing, and like they so and so's in the field, man. I got to play good, or so whereas like you don't really. I'm sure if there's like the best pitcher in the MLB's against you, you gotta do something. But like, I don't think in a big other sport, people go like, oh, well, so-and-so, so I've got to do that,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I'm out there in control of what I'm doing, and I can't control anybody else.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, but then getting ready for pro golf, I mean, just the same thing of just continuing to try and get better. I mean, that's really all I want to do right now is just continue to find ways to get better. And because I know, like, I feel like I'm really only just scratching the surface of my career and what I'm capable of doing. So really just finding those ways to improve and get better and learn. And yeah, turning pro is going to be a completely new experience for me. And, but it's exciting, right? Like,
for sure.
This is my dream is to be a professional golfer and see where that takes me. Like, that's all I've wanted to do since high school. So to be able to take that next step is really exciting. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
As you should. And well, before I give you the real last question though, congratulations on all that, man. I have no doubt, and there's no lack of belief here, that you're going to achieve all the stuff you want to achieve, and we're pulling like hell for you. But real quick, before we go, what's the one rapper I should know, and tell me a song I should go listen to after we do this?
Right now?
Right now.
You know who the rapper is.
Lil Baby. Lil Baby.
4PF. 4PF TR.
That's me.
That's you.
All right,
yeah, Lil Baby. Lil Baby's the rapper, and the song. He claims that he's releasing an album soon, because he hadn't released an album since like October of 2022.
Well, there's nobody listening to this podcast that's going to know if you're wrong or right. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, it was October 2022 was his last album. So.
Oh, we're due.
Waiting on it.
We're due.
If Lil Baby's listening.
If Lil Baby listens to the Tour Coach podcast, you've got to figure out how to get to me. We're going to do something together. This will be epic.
For sure.
Ty,
We'll have a 4PF party.
4PF party. Ty, I'm going to go listen to some Lil Baby once I get off here. But congratulations. Proud of you, buddy. Can't wait to see what the future holds, and look forward to seeing you soon, brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Tony, and all the time and work you've invested in me. And it's awesome right now for sure.
We're going to get there. Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero. And look, recently, several teachers I know and several players have had some scares with skin cancer. In fact, I recently went and saw a dermatologist here in town, and I had a couple things frozen off, eyelid, my face, my earlobe, and not getting any younger. And I know it's getting to that time of the season where it's cooler, but look, being in the sun is a real deal, and I've not been very good, to be totally honest, my whole career at using it at all, because I didn't like how greasy it was, how hard it was to get off your hands, how it clogged up my pores. And then I found this sunscreen, Visor Skincare. It's clear, it goes on, it doesn't dry you out, it isn't greasy, it's like you didn't put anything on it. By far, it's the best sunscreen I've ever used. Without a doubt, is the easiest to use. And we've got a discount code for all of you. All you have to do is go to visorskincare.com, is use our code word DewSweeper. visorskincare.com, code word DewSweeper. I just want to remind everybody something that I forgot. Recently, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went out. We went to a wedding, and afterwards with some friends, we were like, hey, where's a great place to go? I'll be honest, like, in my travels and day-to-day, sometimes I get caught up and I forget some of the great places right around the corner. But I got to remind you about the Icebox Bar on 755 Monroe Street. I was blown away by just the whole vibe, the atmosphere, and with the Velvet Pig, the food in the back room, and the big screen TVs up front. We sat there and watched some playoff games. I was blown away by the atmosphere, the vibe, and just how cool it was to have the Icebox Bar right here near the Dew Sweepers downtown, near where I live. You're looking for a great place to go sit, watch some games, hang out, play some pool, you got to go to the Icebox Bar right there on Monroe Street. There's a good chance you'll see all of us hanging out. But do yourself a favor, go visit the Icebox. It's one of the best places out there.